Hi, I'm Trista Crick, and this is Sports Pulse. Looks like Ezekiel Elliott will miss the first 6 games of the regular season. I'm here with NFL reporter Lorenzo Reyes. In regards to this suspension, the NFL said that their advisors found substantial and persuasive evidence supporting a finding that Elliott engaged in physical violence on multiple occasions during the week of July 16, 2016. All right, Lorenzo, a lot here to unpack.
Yeah, it's there's a lot. This case has been complicated. It's been investigated for almost a year now. This goes back to February before the draft. And the way the NFL's new domestic violence policy is structured, basically, if they have evidence that something did happen, the baseline for a first offender is 6 games. Now, it's important to note in this case that Elliott was not arrested. He was not charged with any of the incidents that happened here. So in the legal process, he didn't face any punishment. But the fact that the NFL went through cell phone records, they looked at photographs and text messages, and they went back and found the timestamps, they are confident enough that something happened, to me, is a pretty strong statement that the NFL came out and gave him 6 games.
Multiple advisors on board helping Roger Goodell out with this, but what is next for Zeke now?
All indications are that he's going to appeal this just because of the big chunk of games that he will miss. Now, he has to do that within 3 days and get that into the office. Basically, it's a notice of appeal indicating that you want to challenge the suspension in any form. And then they have to set a date for Elliott to go into the league offices in New York, in Midtown Manhattan. This is sort of his chance to say, hey, here's why I think you got it wrong, and he could present any sort of evidence. And that would happen within 10 days. And the league, typically, they don't want these things to drag out. After that appeal process, the appeal hearing would happen. Basically, the league would go back, go through the notes, the transcripts, review their discipline, and if they felt maybe they were too harsh, they could reduce the suspension to maybe 4 games or something like that, or they could stand by and say, no, confident with the 6, and that's what we're going to give you.
And what happens if they do say that that's what we're going to give you? Is this Tom Brady Deflategate all over again?
If Elliott's camp isn't satisfied with the appeal, they could challenge the ruling in federal court, basically saying that the league is overreaching its bounds in terms of discipline. And I think the defense that Elliott's side will present is, well, hey, he wasn't arrested, he wasn't charged, so why would the league be able to give him this big discipline that really, if you look at the language in Elliott's contract, by missing some games, he could have more than $8 million voided. So this is a big thing, not only for his reputation, but for his finances as well.
So how does this compare to, say, Ben Roethlisberger and his suspension of 6 games getting cut down to 4?
You know, it's similar because, Roethlisberger, he was never arrested or charged in those matters either. But the problem that the NFL has is that the perception is that they're very reactionary to the issues that are surrounding them. So we can go back to the Ray Rice example, when he was suspended 2 games and everyone, freaked out, rightfully so, because the suspension didn't seem to merit the severity of his actions. Now, Roethlisberger, I think that was early on in Roger Goodell's tenure as commissioner, and I think he wanted to set an example in that case. And I think this is very much similar in this case. Ezekiel Elliott is a rookie. He's a high-profile player. I think this was a case for the NFL to send a strong statement and say, listen, you may be a star player, but if you do certain things off the field that we think isn't going to put the league in a good light, we're going to suspend you for it.
So the Cowboys have a really tough season schedule ahead of them. What does this suspension mean for Dak and the Cowboys?
It's really tough. Obviously, the Cowboys, they have a great offensive line. They have Dak Prescott, who's a very capable quarterback. But when you lose Ezekiel Elliott, he was one of the primary forces on that team. It's going to be up to Darren McFadden and Alfred Morris, 2 veteran running backs who've had success, but they're just not Ezekiel Elliott. They're just not as talented, they're not as quick, and they're not as versatile in their game. So, this for a team that was really had Super Bowl aspirations and was trying to win the NFC East again for the 2nd consecutive year, it's just, again, a big blow to the Cowboys, a big blow to Elliott, and it's not over yet, so there's still a lot to see what can happen.
Thanks for watching Sports Pulse, your heartbeat to what is trending in sports.